Good evening, everyone. I'm thrilled to have the privilege of welcoming you to the 2025 last lecture. My name is Tori McCarville, and I'm honored to be the Class of 2025 President. Joining me tonight is the executive team, Tara Scott, Vice President, Lauren Smith, Secretary, and Nevis Hunt, Treasurer. We will collectively guide you through tonight's ceremonies as your hosts. Before we dive into tonight's festivities, we stand in recognition that Mount Allison University is located within the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq, the unceded ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Our presence and privilege on this territory are rooted in agreements outlined in the Peace and Friendship Treaties from 1725 to 1752. These treaties remind us of our collective duty as treaty people to honor and respect this land. We extend our deepest gratitude for the chance to live, learn, and celebrate on this land. The last lecture is a cherished tradition that marks the achievements of our graduating class. A warm thank you to our distinguished guests for their participation tonight and to the faculty and administrative members in attendance this evening. Our gratitude also extends to the Mount Allison Alumni Board for their generous support of this event and many of our Convocation Weekend activities in May. A special welcome to the Director of the Alumni Board, Shannon Baxter, and the Honorary President, Reed Harrison, who have traveled here to be with us this evening. Each year, at the last lecture, we take a moment to think of Chris Metallic, a student at Mount Allison University before his disappearance in 2012. As a part of our community, his absence is deeply felt, but his impact remains in the friendships he formed, the contributions he made, and the annual Chris Metallic Award in Indigenous Leadership, which recognizes students who exemplify his values of strength and kindness. Tonight, we are honored to welcome to the last lecture Chris's brother, Tanner Isaacs, who is here today on behalf of his family. Tanner, your presence is a reminder of the love and connection that remain, and we are grateful to have you here with us as we remember and reflect. Before we begin the lecture, I would like to invite Director of Alumni Engagement, Kroll de St. Croix, to the stage.
I am thrilled to be here as your Director of Alumni Engagement to celebrate a Mount Allison tradition that has stood the test of time, the passing of the cane. When Charles Frederick Allison founded Mount Allison in 1839, he had a bold vision to create a place where education wasn't just about careers, but about shaping leaders, critical thinkers, and engaged citizens. He believed higher education should be accessible to all, no matter your race, gender, or religious affiliation. Charles Frederick Allison was a person way ahead of their time. It was that vision that led to the many firsts at Mount Allison. We often talk of, the first woman to graduate from an undergraduate degree, but it also includes the graduation in 1866 of Bermudian Samuel Toddings. He was our first international student, and he was also of African heritage. He was the son of a slave. From his earliest days, Mount Allison has embraced traditions that connect generations of students, traditions that remind us of our shared history and values. And one of those traditions is the passing of the cane. Before we begin that, I'm just going to ask the folks in the back if the light can go up a bit in the audience so we can see everyone. Just a little bit. It's quite dark in the audience. There, that's perfect. Thank you. So, we're not really sure where this ceremony began, but I'm going to ask the president of the class of 2025. It wasn't that long ago. And Alexis Paré, the president of the class of 2026, to join us on stage and center. Again, as I mentioned, we're really not sure. It's at least since 1930 that we have been doing this ceremony. We think it goes back further than that. So back in the day, only male students who were seniors, so in right the year that they were graduating, only they were permitted to strut around campus with walking sticks. And then only on Sundays and special occasions. This separated them from the lesser mortals like juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. The cane, though, also symbolized that their time here on campus was coming to an end. Now, that particular tradition has faded, but in 1930, an alumnus named Howard Alcorn from the class of 1901 donated a ceremonial cane to be passed down from class to class, with each class president's name engraved on it. Well, then disaster struck. The original cane was unfortunately lost in the 1941 men's residence fire. And we came up with a replacement until 2018. And you can see that cane in the library at any time. So then we needed another cane because it was full of names. So we have Dr. Garland Brooks from the class of 1960 for our new ceremonial cane that Tori is holding. And it once belonged to his father, who was a member of the class of 1931. And he, in fact, carried it proudly in his final year at Mount A. So tonight, as we pass this cane from the class of 2025 to the class of 2026, remember this is more than a handoff. It's a reminder that while your time as a student is ending, your connection to Mount Allison never will. So now, for the official passing, like we rehearsed 5 times. Okay. I'm teasing you guys. This is awesome. Now for the official passing of the cane. Tori, as the representative of the class of 2025, I invite you to present the Brooks cane to the president of the class of 2026, Alexis Paris. Alexis, as you accept this cane on behalf of your class, you carry forward the vision of Charles Frederick Allison. Let this moment serve as a bridge, linking past, present, and future. And remember, no matter where life takes you, you will always have a home here at Mount Allison. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It is a great pleasure that I, on behalf of the junior class of Mount Allison University, extend my warmest congratulations to the class of 2025 for their many accomplishments. Our class, the class of 2026, is very close to yours. Since our arrival here at Mount Allison in September 2022, we have looked up to you and followed your example. As your orientation committee members, you welcomed us to campus and made us feel at home. As our House Executive and RAs, you provided us with guidance and support during our first year away from home. You were instrumental in shaping us into leaders as fellow club and society members, as well as being there for us as academic mentors and TAs. We celebrated your achievements as athletes, performers, artists, and activists, and you were equally supportive of ours. Most importantly, many of you have become our lifelong friends, and the challenges of the last few years have brought us even closer together as a community. In the years and decades to come, when the members of our class reflect on their university experience that started at the end of a pandemic, we will fondly remember those who were with us, leading and supporting us. We will remember you. We have enormous shoes to fill and are honored to be part of this passing of the cane ceremony with the class we admire so much. Now that the cane has been passed on to us, we promise to maintain the true Allisonian spirit which you embody and to leave our mark on the beautiful campus as you have done. I'd like to leave you with this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, a quote that you may have heard before, yet felt appropriate for this moment. And it goes, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Let this be a powerful statement, remind you that your dreams matter deeply, and serve as a reminder to pursue your dreams regardless of the noise and judgments around you. Only you truly know the vastness of your potential and the meaningful impact you want to create. Remember, no matter what path you choose to take after completing your journey here, you will create a lasting footprint on this world, just like you have done in your lives here at Mount A. Thank you.
And now it's time for our last lecture. The last lecture asks one of our exceptional educators on campus to answer the following question. If this was your last opportunity to address the group of students, what is that message that you want to pass along? Every year, the graduating class chooses a faculty member to represent the class. This year, I'm very excited to announce Dr. Andrew Grant was selected. Tonight's last lecture is entitled Band-Aids Don't Fix Bullet Holes. As you might guess, that's from Taylor Swift. It was in a song. But many of you might speak to this relationship that we have and build it into our life. How they shape us, how they challenge us, and it might even leave a lasting mark on yourself. Tonight we honor the relationship that has been left undeniably from the impact that Dr. Grant has had with his students. A respected teacher and researcher, Dr. Grant has spent his career challenging the minds and inspiring young students. As he retires from teaching this spring, he and the students have made sure that he's here to represent us for the class of 2025 last lecture. Dr. Grant.
Thank you very much. It's incredible to be here. Like I said in that little video, to get that email from Tori was fantastic. So thanks to the executive who got me to do the last lecture. I'm really thrilled. So I guess I am going to push this button over here. You'll see here. Oh, I better turn it on. Okay. Well, I also would like to take a minute to acknowledge. Am I on here as well? Yeah. To acknowledge the fact that we're unceded territory, and we can learn a lot from our Indigenous brothers and sisters. We should do more of that, and so it's a great honor to be on this land where we have such a great university, a great educational institute. So, as the title says, the song is a little bit about a broken relationship that I guess Taylor Swift was in, and I don't know a whole lot about her. Actually, that's not quite true. The reason I got into this is because we went on a trip to Cape Breton last spring to a chemistry conference, and about for 4 hours we listened to Taylor Swift for the first two, and then I said we have to listen to the Rankin family and somebody else. Who's the great Newfoundland singer? Cape Breton. And so relationships, solving problems. The world faces lots of problems, big problems, personal problems. What I intend to do tonight is talk a little bit about some chemistry. I want to talk about one of my favorite molecules, biotin, superconducting organic polymers, and then try to put those last four things sort of together. I think there's a relationship there, and a little bit of humor at the end, too. So just to, who am I? I'm a New Brunswicker. I was born in Rothesay, went to school down there. I wanted to leave the Maritimes. I went to Queen's and did a 5-year BSc in chemistry. I knew I wanted to major in chemistry from high school. Took me 5 years. I said this the other day, and somebody came up and thanked me for saying it. In my 3rd year, I got a girlfriend for the first time. That was a big distraction. I failed the course. I failed the course and did poorly in another one, so I had to come back and do a 5th year. And it was actually the best thing that happened to me. Right? Take all kinds of organic chemistry classes. I came back to Fredericton and did a PhD there. It was normal to do it in 6 years. I then went to the University of Toronto, where I taught and did research in 2 different groups. I moved to Italy and worked there for 2 years. My son was born in Italy. And then I came back to Toronto and then was hired at the University of Winnipeg for 4 years, but it was on a contract basis. And then I got hired here in '99, so I've been here for 26 years. It's the best place ever. This is a slide that some of you may have seen if you've been to a magic show in the biology building. It's just chemistry as the central science. Most scientists would agree with that. I do have a caveat down here that says it's not necessarily the best science. The best science is any science you like, and it's not even the best subject. You can, whatever turns you on, that's the best subject for you. But chemistry provides a common language for most of the other sciences, geology, biologists always run up against chemistry, and so on, medicine. And so I'm from the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, which is those 2 colored ones there. And I thought I would just kick this off with a, now which one am I supposed to do first? That? Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm supposed to say, who's here from the arts faculty? Let's hear some noise. Okay. How about commerce? Okay. And music and fine arts? All right. Well, do you like to cook? Chemistry is cooking. It's just like cooking, just don't lick the spoon. So what I'm going to do here, just to kick this off, is I'm going to do the elephant's toothpaste. Hopefully it won't get too messy. This is just yeast, just baker's yeast, making pizza dough or something like that. I'm going to put some warm water in it. Vicky's probably having a fit over there, wondering. It's all good. And yeast has an enzyme in it called catalase that detoxifies hydrogen peroxide, and so this should froth up and look like toothpaste coming out of the top of the flask. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I need the soap. Thank you, Phil. Let's see. Well, that would have been. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. Ooh. A little bit of chemistry. Now, a little bit of biochemistry, I should say. So I've been interested in biotin, which is a vitamin, vitamin H or sometimes vitamin B7. You can buy it in the health food store. You can take it as a supplement. It's supposed to promote hair growth. I don't think it really does, but it's sold anyway. We need it. We need it for our biochemical processes. It's been known for a long time what it does. Some people won a Nobel Prize for figuring that out back in the 50s. But it is, and this is the molecule here. It's got 2 5-membered rings at the top with some nitrogens and a sulfur and so on. And this is the same molecule but turned on its side, so that you can see it's a 3-dimensional thing. And what's of interest, all the chemistry happens on that nitrogen, but it's unclear if the sulfur down here has anything to do with it, and I've been very interested in that for my whole time here at Mount A. Still haven't quite solved it, but lots of students have worked on it. I should say that this is a pure research project. Not a whole lot of people are interested in it anymore. That's okay, but but as you'll see, it has applications. So how something works is, I would call a pure research project. The thing that I took into this, which was different than everybody else, was doing calculations on a computer, quantum mechanical calculations, and anyone who's taken a class from me should recognize this as an interaction diagram. And oops, that's sensitivo. And is that where I want to be? Yeah. So anyway, that was the impetus for doing the work. We wanted to make a molecule, which is this little guy down here. In the end, that is actually, doesn't look it, but that's a twisted analog of biotin. This is a bunch of synthesis that we've done over the years. Liam might have made it in 2017, but not enough to study, which is unfortunate. Now, this is just for people who were in my organic class. The learning outcomes for Organic 1 are basically chemical structure, chemical reactions, chemical bonding, chemical mechanisms. I put that together here, as three balls that come together, because those three things, this is just a point about education. Education and learning always sort of proceeds in a linear fashion. You've got to start talking about something, even though everything's connected. And it sometimes doesn't matter which one you start with first. In high school, you would have learned lots of chemical reactions without knowing what the structures were. For me, chemical structures are really important. So anyway, these four things, they all touch each other. It doesn't matter which one you start working at first, they touch the others. It happens to be a tetrahedron, which is the geometry of carbon, which I really like. That's my favorite atom. And so I just thought I would bring that out and show this, that it's in a three-dimensional space, four things can touch each other all at the same time, not five. So we made predictions about what we would do. I think science and a lot of education is about making a prediction about something. You understand it, you want to predict. That takes us into the lab to do synthesis. And these people here, Barry, Lisa, Liam, but many others, at least 20 others have contributed to it. These three made big contributions to it, and so I thank them. Now, at this point, after working on that for a little while, and this is also important for education, I call this the big what if, And so biotin is here, and we are trying to figure out whether the sulfur interacts with the nitrogens over here. And then I sort of said, and I believe they do, although we haven't proved it yet, no one has. But if these electrons can interact over there, and there was another group down here, then they could interact down here. So that's sort of like an if-then statement. If this could do that, that could do that. And that then allows you to sketch out on a piece of paper a little farther. If this can do that, that could go to X, that could go to Y, that could go to Z. And you're talking about electrons traveling through a molecule, okay, which is like a wire, and could be a conducting polymer. So we got our paper and pencil out and drew more pictures. And we came up with this structure, which is two carbon chains, one here and one at the back, all bridged by sulfur up and down. And this stuff, appears, we haven't made it yet, I'll tell you about that, but it has a good chance to be a superconducting polymer at a high temperature. So we have that in paper. How can we decide whether it's superconducting material? We do quantum mechanical calculations on a laptop now, and then we want to know how to make it. So now we've gone from a pure research project to a very applied research project, because superconducting polymers have lots of applications. I don't have time to tell you about them. How do they work? Well, first of all, I just wanted to contrast this picture over here all these nice colors. Those are molecules that people received the Nobel Prize for in 2001. Three fellows shared it. And that stuff is a polymer. It's a plastic that, just a minute, I'm just going to do something with this. We're good. We're good. You know, it's of interest to know how do the electrons travel down that plastic, you know, without any resistance. And that's up for debate. I think the physicists know how it works, but anyway, our polymer is very different. What I'm trying to show here is that these balls, these things are where electrons travel, and they're all perpendicular, if you like, to the floor. Whereas our sulfurs, all of these orbitals are looking at each other. This one is, and so we call this, or I've called this, collinear conjugation. I have no idea if it really is anything, but it sounds good. So, what's my next one here? Oh yeah, so superconductivity. Let me just, we'll do this here. You know, what is superconductivity? Who's had an MRI? Sort of like you've been on the little sled, go inside the donut, that big thing that's a superconducting polymer. There's about 4 kilometers of wire around that, all bathed at a very cold temperature that once you put the current on it, it superconducts electricity. Now, so I just thought I'd try to give a demonstration as to why. And what it does is, at room temperature, all the molecules are vibrating, so atoms are vibrating and so on. And as you cool things down, they vibrate less, and they vibrate to the point where electrons that are on the atoms, you know, they can hop from one to the other. If they're vibrating and the electron's trying to hop but the atom's not there, that's basically the essence of resistance. That bad boy's gonna... That's gonna be fun. So the temperature scales here for everybody, for commerce, arts, music, is our normal temperature scale is centigrade. It's up here. It starts as 0 is a freezing point of water, 100 degrees, minus 100, minus 200. You might think, it turns out that that there's no upper limit to how hot things can get. Stars can get 5,000 degrees, 10,000 degrees. There doesn't seem to be an upper limit. But surprisingly, there's a lower limit. There's a limit to how cold things can get. And that is at what's called absolute zero, and it's minus 273 degrees Celsius, okay? And so minus 196 is the boiling point of nitrogen, so that's a liquid at that temperature, and helium is a liquid at minus 269. Rather than work with all these negative numbers, the Kelvin scale, named after Lord Kelvin, starts at 0. So minus 273 becomes 0, and everything is a positive number from there. So 4 degrees Kelvin is the boiling point of helium, 77 kelvins nitrogen, and so on. That's the boiling point of water up there. Okay, so I have some liquid nitrogen here at 77 Kelvin. And what I'm going to do is just put some more into there. Am I missing anything, Phil? Gloves. Where are my gloves? It's my safety officer back there. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to blow up 2 balloons, a blue one, and a red one. I should have blown them up before. That's okay. And you'll see what happens here. If you put this in, right now at room temperature, all the air molecules, 80% nitrogen, 19% oxygen, they're bumping into the side of the balloon and they keep it inflated. But if you cool it down, if you stuff it in here, it looks just like water. Come here. And it shrinks down. Okay, I'll put the gloves on, Phil. So that one's going. I'll put a red one in too, just for the heck of it. That's got a hole in it. Are you having fun yet? Okay, good. So we push this in, it's getting colder and colder. All the air molecules, slow down. And I'll pull them out in a second here once this one goes down, just to show you how far it shrunk to. And actually, experiments like this is what people did even before Kelvin's time to determine that there was an absolute zero, that there was a temperature at which nothing would get colder. They plotted volume with temperature, and it went straight down to zero and wasn't going to get any colder. So these have shrunk down. So now I have some tweezers here, and I'll pull them out. I guess I can just pull them like this. So, there's the balloon that will or should. It'll go back. It'll blow back up again. Here's the other one. Okay. So anyway, at cold temperatures, things stop vibrating. Electrons can hop from one atom to another, and with no resistance whatsoever. Oh my goodness, what were they doing in there, those guys? Anyway, that's... Thank you. They made a blue baby. Better spank them. So, superconducting polymers. I wanted to say a couple things about this one. Two quick stories. One is, we want to make it, and we ended up making this molecule, this little guy right there, that hexagon with 2 sulfurs in it. The previous synthesis of that was about 5 steps, and we made it in 1 step from cheap available materials that we were using with the biotin chemistry. So that was kind of fortuitous. And we want to polymerize this into this material. That's what polymerization is. We've not been able to do that. I've raised some money from family and friends and some investors to do it. I thought it was a good idea. NSERC didn't, but so what's the next slide here? Yeah, so we published that. I forget if there's, what else is here? Yeah, how to fund the research. So I just wanted to say that, so we got some money, and we hired a postdoctoral fellow, and that person, was technically very good. I'm just describing problems with doing research, but he never went home at night and thought about the problem. Every Monday morning he comes in, and I've got to tell him what to do. So it was difficult. I hired a guy with a PhD. He'd actually done 3 other postdocs in several other countries. I thought we'd have a conversation, but it never got to that. So that happens sometimes, The second one was that I hired someone, and they wanted to come in and know everything that was known about the superconducting material. And there's tons of stuff on superconducting material. Back through the 70s and 80s, the 3 guys that got the Nobel Prize, but not this stuff. There's nothing known about that. And so that's another thing. It was sort of like, how do you, I always think of the Star Trek thing, boldly go where no man's gone before. Like, there's nothing known about it. You might think, well, why did you do it, Andrew? You know, I'm not a physicist, I don't know a whole lot about conductivity, but I'm a chemist and I can design a molecule and try to make it. So that's the cool thing about chemistry. So anyway, yeah, there's always struggles with working with people. No, I didn't mean it that way. Oh no, okay, well, one more thing about funding here. Am I way over time? No. You know, the second round of funding, I had two good friends in Toronto. Well, one good friend, he had another friend, and they were keen on the project. I went up there. Now, the second guy's name was John, and John had raised over $1 billion in exploring an oil field, the oil fields off the coast of Guyana. That's the biggest oil field that's been discovered in the last 20 years. And John was very instrumental in doing that. He raised money, and built rigs and so on. Now Exxon's in there, all the big companies are in there. Whether you like oil exploration, that's a different story, but that's where all the oil's coming from. So John wanted to talk to another financial friend in Toronto. So the other financial guy had a friend who was a physicist who'd worked in superconducting polymers. So we got on the phone, John and I, and this other guy, maybe Dave, and the physicist. And I explained over the phone, you know, what it was we were going to do, and it was an organic polymer and so on and so forth. And he just basically said, no, I don't think so. It's impossible. You know, it's not going to work for you. So the other financial guy who could have brought in a lot of money, he said, no, I'm not going to go in. So I got off the friend with John, and I thought the project's over. I'm not going to raise any money because some physicists just said no. But John said, doesn't bother me at all. He was exploring this geological formation off the north coast of Guyana, and you know, they needed to drill a hole down through some formation, you know, half a kilometer into where the oil was. And all the geologists and the engineers said, no, can't be done. And John eventually found someone who could do it, and it worked out. And it's the biggest find, like I say. So he wasn't perturbed at all that someone said, no, it's not going to work. You know, you got to keep trying. So I just wanted to, you know, give you that sort of story as well. Don't listen to no sometimes. Well, unless it's your wife. So, now look, I've gone a little bit too far, and now there's no more science, but I just have a few slides, and I started off this, you know, very eloquently with like an inquiry into the relationship, but really it's just talking about the relationship. I think there's one between education, mental health, nature, and God, or creator, maybe of the universe. And so what's the relationship? Now, as an this has been on my mind for a long time, because I'm very interested in the question, where do good ideas come from? Like, what do we do in education to promote people from getting good ideas? Like I say, I think that the ideas on biotin and the superconducting polymer are good ideas, even though, well, NSERC was keen on biotin, not so much on the polymer. But you know, how do we get those leaps of intuition and so on? And at Mount Allison, are we providing that environment so that students can come up with good ideas? And we need good ideas for everything. Everything from climate change to, you know, fresh waters being deteriorated, pollution, air, land and sea, and so on. And as well as small problems like how to be a better person, how to be a better spouse, how to be a better neighbor. You know, we need to know how to do that so we have a better world. I think I was supposed to say so that we have a more inclusive of all groups of society, including Flynn. Where's Flynn? Is he here? Did he come? Anyways, I had permission to sort of pick on him because Flynn is just a remarkable guy in my second year class, and I think he's a group all of his own, you know. And he's got a great spirit, and I love him. It's too bad he's not here to get embarrassed, but he told me, go ahead, go for it. So, turning this into PowerPoint, kind of lost a few things there, that's okay. So I'm interested in education and how to get good ideas out of people. And what's one of the things that prevents that from happening? You know, it's poor mental health. It's not being able to get out of bed in the morning if you're a student. It's all those things. Oops. This is a good one too. You know, we should teach. We should teach in our classes good ideas. We have to. These concentric circles here. This one here is high school. You know, that's what we learn in high school. This is second year university. This is, you know, third year, fourth year. I call this the frontier of knowledge. You know, we're pushing out the frontier, and Elon Musk says that everything in this circle here, all human knowledge, is now available to AI, and it's digitized. So, you know, the whole textbook that we're learning is, you know, it's old, you know. But how do we inspire students? There are always cracks. There are always cracks in the frontier that can go down into second year in a class and say, hey, you know, this is all known, but this is a problem. We don't know how to solve this problem. So I think that's somewhat of a mark of good education. It's really hard to do because we got so much to teach, but we've got to expose students to the cracks where things aren't known. I wasn't supposed to be there, but now this is important too. You know, ideas can come from anybody at any time, anywhere. It doesn't have to come from the university. You can be an auto mechanic and suddenly say, gee, if I could invent this tool, you know, and fix cars a lot better. You'd be climbing mountains, farming, building houses. So I'm not trying to be snobby that good ideas just come from the university. They can come from anywhere, and we have to always recognize that. But what gets in the way of good ideas is poor mental health. And you know, students suffer from anxiety, depression, loneliness, hopelessness, although the future is bright. And I don't know what we do particularly, but we you know, I listen to people in my office who are struggling a little bit. So you listen to people and you take them over to student health and say, you know, you should talk to a counselor. But physical exercise is good, walks in nature. Practice gratitude is very good. Just sort of saying thank you. Like I'm so thankful for Tori, you know, and company for letting me do this. But sometimes we just say thank you, thank God, thank God I passed the midterm, you know, and then you're starting to get into maybe a relationship with the Creator of the universe, and I think that's a good thing. Now that's, I think I've got one more slide to go, but what I really want to say is that at the moment we're kind of out of step with nature. We want to go for walks in nature, but then you start looking around. And maybe there is another picture here. Come here, George. Will it go one more? Or there we go. You know, there's environmental degradation everywhere, and mining, polluted water, fishing, the poor right whales, and so on. And you know, what do? And most of the time with these big problems, we put Band-Aid solutions on them. And we need better solutions. That's where the good ideas come from. It's very, very difficult. I'm actually working in the mining area to not have tailings ponds that will be toxic, and the dams will break and go down the pristine river and muck it up for, you know, tens of years. So we need, and so that's depressing. You go for a walk in nature and you start seeing garbage all over the place, and you thought you were going to, you know, get away from your depression, and you get more depressed. And so I think that one of the keys to this, for me, I'm speaking personally, is to get more in touch with your spirit, you know, with your soul. You know, if you're, we are disconnected from nature, and when you are disconnected from, if your soul is disconnected from nature, life looks not very interesting, and we can live amongst beautiful beauty and not see it. So we need to fix our souls. I think that that's what we should do. And I don't mean, that could mean going out to a church or a mosque or a temple. And, so what I think we should do is the environmental crisis is, I believe, like Ellen Bernstein, who came here about 15 years ago and gave a talk at commencement, that the environmental crisis is largely a spiritual crisis. You know, we think that land is real estate, or forests are timber or fiber, and not habitat for animals or just the plants themselves that produce oxygen. So we have, you know, water, lakes and streams are playgrounds for motorboats instead of habitat for fish. So, you know, we're not doing well there, and we could certainly learn from our indigenous brothers and sisters, I think. So I think that when that we should take, you can't see that very well, but up at the top there of the gymnasium it says, I can't see it either. Mens sana in corpo sano, which means healthy mind and a healthy body. And the little one behind this, the one that's inside the gym here, that emblem has three Latin words on it. Do you know what they are? One of them is literature over here, science over here, and religion down there. I'm not sure how much we talk about religion. You know, we have a great spiritual care chaplain here, Ellie Hummel, and we should make use of her. The chapel is a very welcoming place. I meet there every Wednesday. I've emailed my classes a few times, every Wednesday at 11:30. I don't have a slide for it, and for the last 4 or 5 months, we've been reading a book by Richard Wagamese, who's an Ojibwe writer who passed away a few years ago, but he just writes remarkable stuff about spirit, about life and struggles and environment and so on, and we have great discussions. Thanks a lot, Ellie. So I think we should modify our motto to mens sano in corpo sano cum spiritu sano. We should have a healthy spirit as well in there. And I think that's the end of my talk. Just a sec. This is not a helium balloon. This is not helium. This is hydrogen and oxygen. Now, I'm not going to pop it here because it might take out those back windows. But there's a nice white car parked right outside there. I thought I'd go take it out there and then pop it out there. But no, I think after the whole thing, I'm happy to go outside and try to pop this thing because it makes one heck of a bang. Okay?
Thank you, Dr. Grant, for the inspiring and very engaging lecture. So now for another Mount Allison tradition. Each year, the graduating class selects a class quote, a tradition that captures both the shared experience of our time at Mount Allison and our aspirations for the future. I am delighted to announce the results of the vote that was recently held by the graduating class. The class of 2025's quote is, "Life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved." You may have already attributed this quote to none other than the great philosopher of the 100-acre wood, Winnie the Pooh. And really, who better to remind us of what matters? In the whirlwind of deadlines, exams, and late-night study sessions, it's easy to see life as a checklist of obstacles to overcome. But as we prepare to leave this place that has shaped us, Winnie the Pooh's wisdom reminds us to embrace the journey, to savor the friendships, the lessons, and the unexpected detours along the way. Mount Allison has given us more than just knowledge. It has given us a way of seeing the world with curiosity, resilience, and yes, maybe even a little bit of honey-sweet optimism. So, as we step forward into whatever comes next, let's take a page from Winnie the Pooh's book and remember his wise words. Now, this is the part where I was supposed to introduce the Mount Allison dance team, who are no longer performing, so instead I would like to welcome Lauren up to invite some presenters.
Instead, I guess we're welcoming Dr. Grant back to the stage.
My last act, you know, which is you know, another sort of good thing for mental health is comedy, right? Humor, that was the thing on the list. And I'm not very funny. My wife thinks I'm funny, but which is good. But I do like Jim Carrey, and he's a really good impressionist. He's got a great impression of Robert De Niro and so on and so forth. But he does a really good impression, and you can do this at home too, he calls it the angry Saint Bernard. You seen that?
Thank you once again, Dr. Grant. So with that, we are now ready to begin the awards portion of our program this evening. We kindly ask Dr. Sutherland to join us on stage for the presentations. As each award is presented, we also ask that the recipient come just to this left side of the stage here, up those stairs, to receive their award from Dr. Sutherland when their name is called. Joining Dr. Sutherland on stage for the presentation of the A. Jane Avert-Eaton Leadership Awards are Jane's daughter, Shannon Baxter, and her grandson, Robbie Baxter. The A. Jane Avert-Eaton Student Leadership Awards are presented to the Don Norton and Francis S. Allison Award recipients, who will each receive $1,000, and the recipients of the Gold A Awards will receive $500 each. Jane Eaton was a recipient of both a Gold A and the Francis S. Allison Award when she graduated in 1963. She was an important member of this community who for many decades lived across from the Swan Pond and was an integral part of welcoming and supporting Mount Allison students during their time in Sackville. We also want to thank the Massou, the classes of 2014 and 1989, the Wu Family Foundation, the Craig Foundation, the Campbell Verdun Fund, and the Marchand and Hibberts Meekins families who provide the prize money for the Chris Metallic Award in Indigenous Leadership, the Barrett Marshall Award, the Muir Waugh Award, the Hibberts Meekins Prize for first-generation students, the Charlie Hunter Award, and the Gil Ladder Award. At this time, we would be asking the award presenters to come up to stage, but I believe most of them are already here, so continue as needed.
I have the honor of presenting the first award. We've made another quick change because we had to lose the backdrop. We're going to ask anyone who is called up as one of the recipients to kind of quickly go up, get their prize from Dr. Sutherland and the Baxter family, and then we won't take an official photo. We're going to ask all of you to stay after. We'll get the backdrop back up, and then we'll be able to put the photos everywhere, if that's okay. So, I'm presenting the Francis S. Allison Award. and it recognizes a graduating student who has made a significant impact on their peers and enhanced the Mount Allison experience for other students. This year's recipient has gone above and beyond in leadership, community engagement, and academic mentorship, earning both on and off recognition, both on and off campus. As president of Enactus, they successfully led 3 major initiatives: Build, Period, and Grow, addressing sustainability, menstrual equity, and food security. Their leadership helped to expand the Grow project, providing fresh produce to students in need and ensuring accessibility to hygiene products through the Period project. Beyond campus, their efforts brought national recognition to Mount Allison. They contributed to multiple regional and national Enactus awards. Their commitment to student well-being extended to their roles as an academic advisor, social media director for jack.org, and VP of Communications for both the Physics and Biochemistry Societies. For their unwavering dedication to their peers, their impact on student life, and their ability to inspire change, it is my great honor to present the Francis S. Allison Award to Abigail Austin.
Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Wilson. I'm the incoming MASU president and CEO. Today, I'm honored to present the Don Norton Award. It's an award presented annually to a student who exemplifies leadership, initiative, and a lasting impact on the Mount Allison community. Qualities that define Donald Blair Norton from the class of 1942. This year's recipient has embodied what it truly means to be a Mountie. Balancing 2 of the most time-demanding commitments at Mount A, they have balanced both being a varsity athlete and a leader in the Mount Allison Students Union. Their dedication to student life, leadership in residence, and extensive extracurricular involvement have left a profound mark to their peers and the university as a whole. Their academic achievements are equally remarkable, consistently demonstrating excellence throughout all 4 years at Mount A. Whether on the court or in student government or in the classroom, they've been an unwavering source of inspiration and those around them. Their impact reaches far beyond their own accomplishments, as they have shaped the experience of countless students and those who have benefited from their leadership and dedication. It is with great admiration and gratitude that I present the 2025 Don Norton Award to Benjamin Broadbent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nancy Esterbrooks, and I'm the office manager of the Mount Allison Students Union. 4 gold A pins are awarded each year to graduating students who have demonstrated an outstanding contribution to the university community. Criteria for this award is commitment, leadership, and going above and beyond. Tonight, I have the pleasure of presenting the gold A to someone who has been described as the following: caring, kind, supportive friend, role model, a leader, always smiling, and someone who gives 100%. One has said that this person is in a league of their own and are looking forward to seeing what they will accomplish. They have been involved in residence and have supported many first-year students in fostering a sense of belonging. A few things that they have accomplished. I know that this may give away the hints that you need to know who I'm talking about. Enhancing student life and advocacy through policy work on sexual violence policy, wellness strategy, and harm reduction strategy. Strengthening intramurals, helping establishing the pantry, bringing back Haunted Heart Hall, VP Edwards, social chair of Thornton. This is just to name a few things of their accomplishments. A Smartie loving and lemon lollipop lover. And of course, 2 years as MASU VP Student Life. it is my honor to present a Gold A to Kaylin Clements.
Hi folks, I'm Dan Henniger and I'm a news reporter at the Argosy. For the next Gold A Award, this recipient has successfully balanced the demanding responsibilities of pursuing dual degrees in biology and commerce while making significant contributions to both the academic and social fabric of our community. As president of the Women in Commerce and Women in Science Societies, they have revitalized both clubs, leading initiatives such as mentorship programs, business networking trips, and collaborations with key organizations to expand opportunities for students. Their leadership has not only fostered stronger student-faculty connections, but also driven fundraising efforts that directly supported new student initiatives. Beyond their leadership roles, this individual has been deeply committed to student wellness and engagement, raising over $2,500 to support underrepresented communities in STEM and playing a key role in Mount Allison's strategic planning facilitation team. Their dedication extends to over 220 hours of volunteer service, from leading science orientation tours to moderating discussions at campus events. It's with great pleasure that we announce this year's recipient of the Gold A Award to none other than Bentley Huffington.
Hello everyone, my name is Anna and I'm the incoming VP of Student Life for the MASU. So as we heard before, there are 3 categories that go into describing a Gold A Award. Those are commitment, leadership, and going above and beyond. This recipient has surely met those requirements and more. You may have first met this person during O Week in their Tight and Bright, whether it was with the Campbell Hall executive team or as an O Crew leader. Or maybe you first saw them shine on stage with the Garnet and Gold Musical Theater Society. Their experience extends into the academic field where they have been a TA and currently serve as the co-president of the Biology Society. Their volunteer experience shows dedication within the Sackville community as well as in multiple Mount A events, all while pursuing their honors. This person brings a noticeable and impactful positivity to the Mount Allison community. To quote one of their numerous nominations, this recipient is the smile you want to see in the hallway. It is with immense pride that I say this Gold A Award is presented to Ashton Leal.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Robin Walker. I'm the Director of Student Experience here at Mount Allison, and I have the pleasure of awarding the 4th and final Gold A Award. So for this Gold A Award, our next student, our 4th student, has gone above and beyond since they begun at Mount Allison in all of their leadership roles that they have assumed and the many nominations received. He was consistently indicated that this individual has a clear purpose and vision to improve the quality of the student experience. Some of their roles, not all of their roles, but some of the roles that they have taken on since they've arrived at Mount Allison include being a teaching assistant, a research assistant, an orientation crew leader, Thornton House president, Mount A ombudsperson, the History Society event coordinator, and most recently this year, very importantly, the MASU CEO and president. He has shown time and time again to be an exceptional collaborator, a clear and transparent communicator, and a pure joy to work with. His professors write that he is one of the strongest and brightest geography students they have ever had. With the many nominations received this year, each and every one of them writes that he has led the MASU this year with purpose, integrity, and someone who goes above and beyond. I'm very happy and very honored to present this 4th Gold A to Reed Delaney.
I would now like to call up Anna, Susan, Manly, Nicole, Krista, Rebecca, Daniel, Cassandra, and Grace. Well, yeah, you could. Yes.
Hey again. So the Charlie Hunter Award is presented to a student who has made an outstanding impact on residence life at Mount Allison University. This award recognizes someone who has fostered community, demonstrated exceptional leadership, and gone above and beyond to support their peers. This year's recipient embodies these qualities through their warmth, dedication, and unwavering commitment to creating positive change. They have been a leader in residence as a floor representative, a 2-year residence assistant, and currently the assistant don of Harper Hall. They also founded the MASU RAAD caucus, ensuring stronger advocacy for student leaders in residence. For their remarkable contributions to residence life and the Mount Allison community, this year's Charlie Hunter Award goes to Ellie McCrae.
I'm Susan Way. I'm an Accessibility Services Advisor for the Bean Center, and I'm here to present the Gil Lader Award. The memory of Gil Lader, class of 1990, is honored each year at Mount Allison University through the presentation of the Gil Lader Memorial Award. This award is presented to a Mount Allison student who has demonstrated outstanding contributions to the Sackville community through volunteer work. This year, this award is bestowed upon an individual who has made many meaningful contributions to the Sackville and greater community region. Through his extensive volunteer work with Open Sky Cooperative and Daybreak Center, this student has advocated for inclusivity and accessibility for the clientele, and on top of that, he is an amazing baker. It is my great pleasure to announce that this year's recipient of the Gil Lader Award is Theo Pink.
We're good? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Manly Liu, and I am the First Generation Program Coordinator, and I have the honor of presenting the Heberts-Meekins Award. First Generation students are the first in their families to attend university, often overcoming unseen barriers along the way. The Heberts-Meekins First Generation Student Award recognizes the perseverance and the dedication of these students as they navigate higher education, often without a built-in support network. This year's recipient has demonstrated remarkable resilience, completed an aviation degree while balancing multiple jobs, funding his own education, and giving back to the community in countless ways. His leadership has fostered a sense of belonging for his peers, and his unwavering commitment to his studies and community has set an inspiring example for future students. I'd like to congratulate this year's recipient on a million small successes. Classmates, colleagues, and professors, please join me in congratulating Deep Sham Ding, this year's winner of the Heberts-Meekins First Generation Student Award.
My name is Nicole. I'm from Fort Folly First Nation, and I'm here to present the Chris Metallic Award. The Chris Metallic Prize in Indigenous Leadership was established by the class of 2016 and the Campbell Vidian Fund in honor of Chris Mackenzie Metallic. It is to be presented annually to a student in any year of study who has exhibited leadership in the indigenization of the Mount Allison campus. This year, this award goes to a student who has been active since her first year at Mount Allison. She is now in her 4th year and is doing a major in Indigenous Studies. This past spring, she attended the Belize Field School with 14 other Indigenous students from the Maple Leaf League universities and spent 2 weeks in the Belize learning about their Indigenous culture and history to build Indigenous knowledge across international borders. This past fall, she's worked as a mentor for the Indigenous Student Support Group, and I've also had the honor of working with her as my summer and fall intern, working on a project building a medicine wheel curriculum that I now use in 6 of my First Nation communities that I work with in New Brunswick. This winter term, she is studying at Arizona State University on exchange, as she is the successful recipient of a Killam Fellowship. Her leadership in the indigenization of Mount Allison has been noticed by her peers and those around her for her willingness to participate in programs that are designed for Indigenous students. She is blazing the trail for other young Indigenous students to have similar experiences in the future. Throughout her time at Mount Allison, she has made it her mission to learn and share Indigenous teachings. It is my great pleasure to announce that this year's recipient of the Chris Metallic Prize in Indigenous Leadership goes to Katie Such.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Krista Maston. I'm the International Student Advisor in Mount Allison's International Center. The International Mentorship Program is a cornerstone of Mount Allison's International Center, connecting new international students with upper year student mentors for transition support and cultural exchange. At its heart, it fosters unexpected friendships that help participants learn and grow as individuals and as a community. Mark Alexandre Chartrand, a 2012 Mount Allison graduate, was a passionate mentor in this program, supporting 5 first-year international students during his time at Mount A. Sadly, Alex passed away just a year after graduating from Mount A. His family established this award in his honor. This year's International Mentorship Award recipient has gone above and beyond in making Mount A a welcoming place for international students. Through her leadership as president of Mosaic, her work as winter orientation chair, and her CHMA radio show Next Station, she has been a tireless advocate for diversity and inclusion. Her contributions to the International Mentorship Program and the International Center have helped countless students feel supported as they navigate university life. It is for her incredible leadership, compassion, and mentorship that I am proud to present this year's International Mentorship Award to Nui Tangpo Ye of Thailand.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Lehman. I'm the Director of Experiential Learning and Career Development here at Mount Allison University, and I'm very pleased to be presenting the Barrett Marshall Award this evening. This award recognizes a graduating international student who has significantly contributed to the internationalization of campus and helped foster cross-cultural understanding at Mount Allison University. This year's recipient has been a leader in creating globally minded community. As orientation chair, head mentor of the International Mentorship Program, and president of the Russian Language Society, he has played a pivotal role in welcoming and supporting students from diverse backgrounds. Through his efforts, he has helped organize events and initiatives that celebrate cultural exchange and build connections among students. Beyond campus, he expanded his impact internationally through the Bombardier Travel Grant. He traveled to Kazakhstan, inspiring local students to pursue global learning opportunities. He also represented Mount Allison at Kwansei Gakuin University in Japan as part of the Kyoto Field School for Religious Studies. His unwavering passion for internationalization, his leadership, and dedication to fostering a welcoming community have left a lasting impact. His contributions have enriched the student experience and will continue to inspire future generations of Mount Allison students. It is my honor to present this year's Barrett Marshall Award to Adil Alimsanov of Kazakhstan.
Hey again. Each year, we award students who have substantially contributed to print journalism at Mount Allison with the Craig Sodden Award. Created in honor and memorial of former Argosy editor William Boyle Sodden, his award will be given this year to 2 students who have improved the presence of the arts through their work at the Argosy. At the Argosy, these recipients exemplify a bold dedication to the local arts community, a dedication to informing the public, a dedication to sharing stories of unsung heroes, but most importantly, a dedication to university students. By committing themselves to students and the arts, these recipients have highlighted impactful contributions to clubs, theatrical productions, and social movements which will hold importance for years to come. They see value in uplifting the arts, not because of its widespread availability, but because doing so inspires a generation of creativity. With that, it is my honor to present the 2025 Craig Sodden Award to 2 outstanding content creators and even better role models, Teddy Buffett and Jacob Farrell.
I'm now going to present the Marewa Student Award. And so I am honored to present this student award to an exceptional individual who has demonstrated remarkable leadership and commitment to social equity and the Black student experience at Mount Allison. As a Black student athlete in a predominantly white town and on a white campus, they've experienced the firsthand challenges of otherness and isolation. To address this, he and one other student co-founded the Black Student Athlete Union, BSAU, creating a space where Black student athletes could feel included and supported. Their dedication didn't stop there. Transitioning from vice president to president of the BSAU, they focused on strengthening the group's impact by launching new initiatives, including organizing a first ever pep rally and establishing a grant to support Black student athletes. Their efforts have showcased something and really how our community can come together, create something special for a generation of new athletes. Please join me in celebrating Jet Agate's outstanding contributions and unwavering commitment to fostering a sense of belonging and advancing social equity at Mount Allison, and tonight who is the recipient of the Marewa Black Student Award. The screen kind of gave it away. There is a second Murray-West Student Award tonight to present, so I'm going to, you already know who it is, but I'm going to talk about their journey at Mount Allison as well. So I'm also delighted to present a second award to an outstanding individual who has shown outstanding and exceptional leadership and dedication to fostering community and inclusion within the Black student experience here at Mount Allison. Serving as the president of the African Students Association, ASA, for 2 consecutive years, last year and this year, and as the vice president of the BSU, Black Student Union, for this year, they have been a pivotal figure in advocating for African and Black students here on campus. They led the student advocacy voice during the vandalism incident in the Brick last year, and they lent their support to the 2024 Black Student Orientation, the first ever at this fall's university orientation. This year, as president of ASA, they planned and organized many events for ASA, which really helped foster a sense of community here amongst our students. And finally, their involvement in planning 2025's Black History Month. They've captured many of the events through their photography, and they highlighted their commitment to celebrating and promoting the Black culture and Black history here on campus for future students and past students as well. So please join me in congratulating Divine Levine Kabai on receiving the Black Student Award. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Cassandra and I'm the incoming VP Academic and University Affairs of the MASU. I am honored to present the TA Excellence Award to a student who has gone above and beyond in supporting other students. He has a genuine passion for the success of his peers, and it shows in every session at the Econ Help Center, where he guides and encourages students while making sure that they are supported both academically and personally. For his dedication, passion, and incredible impact on many students here at Mount Allison, I am happy to present this year's MASU TA Excellence Award to Connell Donnelly. I'd like to welcome Grace up to present the next award.
Hello, my name is Grace, and I'm one of the art senators for the MASU. I'm very excited to be here today to present this award to a professor who has made a tremendous impact on students and who has contributed in so many ways to both the Mount Allison community and the broader Sackville community. I've been lucky enough to have had this professor in the Department of Politics and International Relations. This is a professor who goes above and beyond to ensure that his students succeed. He sees his students' potential sometimes before they even do themselves, and he always pushes his students to do their best. Whether it be through inviting guest speakers into the classroom, hosting workshops, or helping with a candidates debate, this professor is always there to go the extra mile. I cannot think of a professor who exemplifies teaching excellence the way this one does. Because who else would have you debate the legality of raising backyard chickens or have you meet the Premier of New Brunswick at 8:30 in the morning? Without further ado, I am happy to present the MASU Teaching Excellence Award to Dr. Mario Levesque.
A big thank you to our presenters. Now I'd like to invite Robin back up to announce the recipients of the university's leadership pins. For the winners, please stand if your name is announced, and we'd just like everyone to hold the applause until the end. Leadership pin recipients can pick up their awards tomorrow from the MASU office after 9 a.m.
Hello again, everyone. I'm asked to just really quickly, you amazing students. It's so hard every year to, or it's amazing and wonderful to actually see how many students contribute to the university community, and their leadership just aspires and inspires us every day. And it was an amazing list to see all those names, and I know many of them, but also don't know all of them in an interim role. So without further ado, there are 46 names to, no, 48 names. 12 times 4 is 48, right? Yes. So here we go. They are Ayaka Fujiwara, Carmen Amador, Chloe Duguay, Claire Wilbur, Connell Donnelly, Dylan Kruger, Emma Etheridge, Emma Patterson, Grace Waldron, Hannah Palmader, Hannah Waldron, Heather McTavish, Heidi Lynn O'Connor, Hannah Matheru, Holly Rye, Jacob Mikio, Jasmine Pinozo Odie, Jordan Williams, Josh Stevenson, Julia Henry, Julia Lee, Kennedy Wagg, Kyla Wilkinson, Lauren Smith, Lee Johnson, Lindsay Hood, Lucy Canseco, Lucy Ray, Mohamedou Dahani, Michaela Boudreau, Matthew Hunter, Maureen Hennessy, Natalie Stewart, Nevis Hunt, Oliver Batchelder, Olivia Ritchie, Paul Ipe, Rajan Minoka McKenney, Renee Mapalu, Ryan Friars, Sam Walsh, Sarah Weber, Ty Christie, Tara Scott, Tori McCarville, Wakana Kobayashi, Alicia Walker, and Yun Hao Ma. Congratulations, everyone.
I would now like to call upon the Dean of Science, Dr. Jennifer Tomes, the Dean of Social Science, Dr. Bourgeois, and Dean of Arts, Dr. Vicky St. Pierre, to announce the departmental award winners. Departmental awards are chosen by faculty members and reflect a high level of engagement by a student in their department. As the recipients are announced, please stand if your name is called. I will also ask that you hold your applause until the end. Departmental awards can also be picked up tomorrow at the Massey office after 9 a.m.
I am pleased to announce the departmental awards for the Faculty of Science, and I will be announcing all of the aviation awards as well. So aviation science, Jeremy Plord, Katie Clyburn. Aviation commerce, social science, Nevis Hunt. Aviation arts, Ryan Cowley. Biology, Jordan Williams. Chemistry, Duncan McLean. Biochemistry, Malcolm McKinnon. Computer science, Hayden Walker. Mathematics, Lauren Smith. Physics, Laura Hubbard. Psychology, Abigail Mitchell. And Emily Mashal. Thank you. Congratulations.
Well done. All evening I've been seeing people trolled by this orange hair being with an inflated sense of itself, and that Dr. Grant threatens could explode. So, but I've been reading too much news.
Talk fast.
So the awards for commerce: Matthew Hunter, Ryan Friars. For economics: Connell Donnelly, Matthew Hunter. For geography, Reed Delaney. Environmental studies, William Chapman. Environmental science, Kyla Wilkinson. Political science, Lindsay Jackson. PPE, Joshua Stevenson. International relations, Grace Waldron. And sociology, Emma Etheridge.
And last but certainly not least, for the Faculty of Arts, this thing is killing me all evening. I'm just dying, because if it busts, I'm going to have a heart attack. I swear. Stay over there. All right, so don't clap in between all of these. We'll just save that energy until the end, and you can explode into applause. Classics, Jacob Farrell. Drama Studies, Danae Morrison, Hannah Matheru, Emily Estabrooks. English, Julie Palmer. Fine Arts, Ella McKay. Art History, Paige Crosby. Museum and Curatorial Studies, Paige Crosby. History, Ellie McRae. Modern Languages and Literatures, Benjamin Broadbent. Music, Claire Lowe. Philosophy, Lindsay Jackson. Religious Studies, Lucy Ray. Community Engaged Learning, Cassandra Gauthier Downs. Feminist and Gender Studies, Mackenzie Dunnett and Elin Andrews. VMCS, Joseph David Caswell and Megan Barnable. And last but certainly not least, Canadian Studies, Kayla Hansen.
Thank you, Dr. Tomes, Dr. St. Pierre, and Dr. Bourgeois, and congratulations to all the recipients. Since arriving at Mount Allison last summer, Dr. Ian Sutherland, along with his husband Irinye, and everyone's favorite poodle Luca, have quickly become a vital part of our community. Dr. Sutherland has already made a great impact, not only through their leadership, but also through their genuine engagement with students, faculty, and staff. Ian Sutherland's commitment to Mount Allison's future is clear, but just as important is their ability to connect with people, making everyone feel heard and valued. Please join me in welcoming our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ian Sutherland, back to the stage.
Well, good evening, everyone. What a joy, what a pleasure. And I'm now realizing I made a really big mistake. Sweetheart, my notes are under the chair. My husband here. What a wonderful joy, what a pleasure, what a privilege. Good evening, everyone, especially good evening, graduates. It has been an honor to be here sharing this tradition with you. And as I was sitting there listening to Dr. Grant's wonderful lecture and, of course, all the awards, I was thinking no event could more capture the spirit and particularly the commitment to academic excellence of Mount Allison than a graduating class tradition that after you have sat through 4 or 5 years of lectures and more lectures and more lectures, you celebrate by having another lecture. And what a lecture it was. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for all that you brought. Despite the fact that you apparently are a Swiftie, you're still pretty popular. You indeed gave us a great gift this evening, and I am not a chemist. I did pretty well in high school chemistry, though. But the connection of the bonds, the elements coming together, highlighting that fundamental part of human nature and how we need to connect with each other and with nature and so on. It was just wonderful to hear all of that, so thank you once again. And of course, you are transitioning to the next adventures and journeys in life, and I hope you do so feeling the love that's in this room, the full knowledge that not only does your legacy live on papers, despite NSERC giving you the snub, papers that you've published, but on the hearts and minds of every single person in this room and 26 years of students at this university. So thank you once again on behalf of the whole university. Now, graduates, let me say a few words to you. Your journey over these last 4 years perhaps has been a bit like a chemistry experiment, a very successful one. I want you to, what the heck is this thing? It is a bit Trumpian in its coloring. Where was I? Yes, chemistry experiment, 4 years, 5 years. Cast your minds back to coming to the Tantramar shores for the first time as students 4 or 5 years ago. You were elements of great possibility and potential back then. And through a lot of late nights, perhaps, early mornings, many successes, no doubt 1 or 2 failures, probably some parties. I did hear about St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Through that journey, that chemistry, that all-chemical experience that is the Mount Allison experience, you have definitely been transformed. And whenever I come to this time of year, I start reflecting back on what it was like, 2 or 3 years ago when I was you, finishing my first degree. That should have been funnier, come on. Well, I remember I was a music student, so not a chemistry student once again. I did my first degree, yeah, there you go. I did my first degree in music, Bachelor of Music, and then, to be specific, a performance degree. Now, the reason I'm highlighting that is that to say that my experience of finishing the degree was on a stage very much like this, so I am experiencing PTSD right now. Giving a graduation recital, that was the very last thing that I had to do as a student. High pressure event, went well, by the way. Followed by a party, maybe not as good as the St. Patrick's Day parties here. But I remember waking up the next morning and sitting by the window in the apartment that I was living in at the time, and I can almost still feel the sunshine shining in. And I was looking out there, and I had a lot of mixed emotions, which I'm sure is very similar for many of you. Feelings of excitement, feelings of nostalgia, feelings of how the heck did I get here? Feelings of sadness, because an important part of my journey and my life was coming to an end, knowing that there was something else going out. But more than anything, I would say there was a burning question, a question that was completely furnished with anxiety and trepidation. And that question was, what the heck is going to happen now? You may be thinking that too. Whether you're off to graduate studies, whether you're off to a career or work, whether you might be doing some traveling or taking some time away, you may be thinking that, and you may be feeling a little bit anxious and a little bit trepidatious at this moment. I have an answer for you to that question about what is going to happen. And the answer is maybe a little bit surprising. The answer is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter because you are all about to become Allisonians. You have been at this university transformed in that all-chemical chemistry experiment over the last 4 or 5 years, and you have been prepared. You have learned, and you've grown, and you've developed, and you've become worldly, and you've become wise. Now, these days, you might also be justified in having a little more anxiety and trepidation than in other times. Certainly, the world is in a difficult place. And even just a few months ago, we could not have perhaps predicted the level of geopolitical instability, economic instability, economic threats, threats to sovereignty, and so on that we are all experiencing. That matters. But what matters most is that you are going out into the world as Allisonians. Because over these last 4 or 5 years, we have trained you to go out elbows up, elbows out. But I also know that you will go out not just elbows up and out, you'll go out living the values that instill and inspire and permeate this institution. The values of integrity, of resilience, of curiosity, of continuous learning, and most importantly, the values of love and compassion for every human being. So it heartens me to know that all of you are going out into that world, because I know that you will go out and lead with wisdom and act with kindness. You will never stop thriving and striving for a better world. And that is the first of 2 things that I want to ask you to do. Go out into the world, and I'll say this to you again at Convocation on May the 12th, by the way. Go out into the world and never stop striving to make it better. And as Allisonians, you're well positioned to do that. And the second thing I want to ask you is that as you go out into the world, tell the story of your experiences here. Tell the story of what Mount Allison has meant to you, will continue to mean to you, and what it has allowed you to do and to become. Somebody told you that story at some point in your life when you were younger. Maybe it was a parent, another family member. Maybe it was a guidance counselor. Maybe it was a student recruitment officer from Mount A. But somebody told you that story, and now here you are on the precipice of finishing your degree. So as you go out into the world, tell the story and make it a better place. I look forward to seeing you all on May 12th. I'll probably see many of you before that too. But in the next 2-3 weeks, as you finish your last classes, assignments, papers, write your exams, I want you to soak up every single minute of your last time as an undergraduate student at Mount Allison, and know that as you transition into becoming alumni and Allisonians, this will always, always be your home. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Sutherland. Our convocation will not only be special because it will be Dr. Sutherland's first. It will mark the sesquicentennial of Grace Annie Lockhart's achievement, who in 1875 became the first woman to earn a degree in the British Empire. She went on to be a lifelong advocate for equal pay, voting rights, and access to education for all. Grace was truly a woman before her time. Sorry. At the start of this evening, Carol spoke about Charles Frederick Allison's vision when he founded Mount Allison, and Grace Annie Lockhart was a part of that vision. Now, 150 years later, as we prepare to graduate, we recognize that we are all part of Grace Annie Lockhart's legacy. Before convocation, I encourage you to take a few minutes to watch a video that was prepared to honor her achievement. We will be sharing the link on Instagram so that as we cross the stage, we do so with a deeper appreciation of the path paved by those who came before us. Fellow classmates, in less than 7 weeks, we will have convocated and will be able to proudly call ourselves alumni of Mount Allison University. As we stand on the edge of this transition, it's easy to get caught up in the stress of final assignments, the uncertainty of what comes next, or the rush to make plans. But as Winnie the Pooh wisely reminded us, life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. We chose this quote together, so I encourage you to let it resonate. These last few weeks aren't just a countdown to the finish line. They're a time to pause, reflect, and truly take in everything that makes this place special. So let's walk across campus a little slower, have a few more late-night talks with friends, and take in a few more sunsets over the marsh. Let's soak up the joy that is Mount Allison and Sackville, knowing that while our time here as students is ending, the friendships, the memory, and the spirit of this place will stay with us long after we leave. We will finish the last lecture with one last tradition. We would like to welcome our incredibly versatile Dean of Arts, Dr. Vicky St. Pierre, accompanied by Jenny Delmotte, to the stage to sing our alma mater.
So here we go. So, don't sing until I tell you to sing, but when I tell you to sing, sing.
much. That was awesome. Please join us for a reception afterwards in the faculty lounge and entrance. Anyone whose names were called tonight, including leadership pins and departmental awards, please join us on stage after Dr. Grant cleans up for a large group photo. Thank you.